Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel at VAG Technique. We are at the back ramp really. We're gonna do a health check again before we will carry out the job. So we have an Audi S5, a facelift one with the supercharged engine in, which very long time, well, we didn't do any of them because if you live in the UK, you probably know what happened in the UK. All these cars and all the other cars what we have here, the market value of them went like completely to you know where. So currently this car we already did a diagnostic. The owner booked it for a timing chain replacement, which we charge something about £4,000 with labor, and we already have a diagnostic here. So as you can see on the fault codes somewhere over here, we have an incorrect coloration in between the camshaft and the crankshaft, and also when we check the face position of the camshafts, you can see that bank 2, which is cylinders 4 to 6, the face position is completely out compared to cylinders 1 to 3, which is bank 1. So the reason why we're doing a health check on the car, which means doing a timing chain, because the value of this vehicle which is behind me, I don't want to be rude, but probably it's about 11,000 pounds maybe. The pre-facelift S4s, I've seen them for 7, 8, up to 9,000 pounds. We do have a very clean Jap import outside, which we have to do a gearbox, and I believe that's sold for 10, but that's like half of the mileage compared to this one, and is like real in the mint condition. So the reason why we have to check everything always, the market value compared to repair, what you have to pay, we just want to make sure the owner really want to go ahead, because we don't want to take the engine out and then we're going to tell them, oh, you need a catalytic converter, or you need a PCV, or you need a water pump, or you need, I don't know, whatever. So the plan is we're going to check the car from underneath, we'll check the suspension and everything, then we will check the engine overall from the top. We want to do a compression test, which I believe on the one cylinder it can be a tiny bit lower because the timing is out. 99% I believe the slider on the tension on the cylinder had broke off and the whole timing moved, and that's the incorrect coloration. So we also want to put the camera into the engine, into the cylinders, everywhere where we could, and we will let the owner know what we think of the general condition of the car engine, what needs doing, and what will be his decision if he actually wants to go ahead, or I don't know what he want to do. So let's lift the car up and let's have a look from underneath. So Maxton is a must-have on these cars, because otherwise you're very slow from the traffic lights. So the rear suspension, coil springs is there, not broken. Everything seems to be in place. On the other side, same old. Good. The car, as a typical UK car, have a surface rust everywhere. Such a sad condition, you know. When you're going to the front, the exhaust looks still good. We need 2 exhaust clamps. Somebody already marked them with yellow, some kind of a marker, and that will never ever be loosey-goosey again. That will be cut. Front suspension and everything. Do we see the engine from here? Yes, we do. So straight away we can tell we have oil leak coming from the top of the cover, but we will check that from the top with our inspection camera. And again, yeah, so that is definitely that, unfortunately. So suspension arm number 1, suspension arm number 2. So yeah, the thing is, if one is dead, the other one won't be in any better condition, unfortunately. I do see a bit of oil leak already sucking through the engine cover. From this side doesn't look that bad. I also want to check the catalytic converters and everything, because you never know, it might be an issue which is quite costly. As soon as you're going to remove them, the car stings like an old socks, so it's definitely not good. This might actually be knocking, so that will need repairing. So yeah, not that bad from underneath, it's sort of alright. Let's put the car down and let's have a look from the top. So here you can see the rocker cover gasket is leaking, and also in between the cylinder heads. Maybe that will be worth doing, because you don't want to have oil leaks after the engine was removed. So here we have oil from the rear timing chain covers, but if we're gonna do the engine, that's part of the job, so that's not a big problem. thermostat on the top. You can see the coolant is actually getting out slowly. So I believe this engine will need PCV, thermostat, water pump ideally. And that is still a questionable thing if the coolant pipe will not crack, because that is common to go on the O-ring which is going to the thermostat. So yeah, next up I'm thinking we can maybe take off the intake and try to get to the catalytic converter. The easy one is over there. We're gonna check them both. We took the coil packs out along with the spark plugs. So the coil pack number 5 is a bit oily, as you can see, and it's definitely leaking from the gasket what I mentioned in between the upper and lower side of the cylinder head. And this is how it looks like when you're gonna log into the cylinders. Also, cylinder number 6 have like few scratches. It's really hard to say like why. Maybe it's because of the carbon buildup around the top end of the combustion chamber, but it's a used engine, so we check it. It doesn't seem the worst, it's not the best, obviously it is used. We have to let the owner of the condition and see what he say. So we will check the compression right now. Obviously, like I said, 4 to 6, it might have like different readings because the timing is jump or it move or something happened. And when it comes to the lambda sensor, we're going to remove it from bank 1 over there. Quite easy accessible. Spark plugs and everything. This is the oily one. So you can see that there's leaking oil down there, but generally I don't think they look that bad. I think they look good. So let's continue. Okay, so we took the lambda sensor out, as you can see, and as you can see, the catalytic converters is in good use condition. It have no cracks, the mesh look good, and everything seems to be fine, so I don't think it will need replacing, which is good news for the owner. Save a bit of money, probably around £1,000 easily, and we have to let him know what we found. So the overall condition of the vehicle, what needs doing, what we think needs doing, we will leave the decision on him if he actually want to do it or not. Meanwhile, we're gonna leave it as it is. We're gonna put the car from the Copart on the other ramp. We will check it in generally, and I will tell you a bit of a story behind it. Hello, hello, Mr. Porsche. Ooh. Okay. Right, guys, so we are in the Porsche, as you can see, from Copart, and it only did 21,000 miles. So the car cost over 30k, but I must say it looks really clean. I think it's genuine mileage. There's nothing wrong with the interior, like usual Porsche, stitching everywhere, leather everywhere, all the buttons, everything. The gear knob looks clean, there's no cracks in anything. So I believe that's fine. The only thing what I did find out so far is I think this should have a 360 camera, but it's not working. And also one of the sensors is showing some kind of a nonsense, which is not a big issue, but yeah, we have to fix it all. So the guy who actually bought it told me that he wants to check everything, have a look at the engine, have a look at the car from underneath and everything, and that's what we're gonna do. So I already did check the car outside. It looks clean, everything looks all right. From inside, like I mentioned, it looks all good, everything is where it should be, nothing is missing from the vehicle in general. So I think that's fine. And you know what's the best thing about it? Look. White calipers. That looks sick. Also, the brakes are polished and it looks all new. So, like I said, the bodywork and everything looks really good. Also, have a look at the front brakes, guys. That is like absolutely sick. Oi, oi, oi. White calipers on the car, looks good. Michelin tires, 22 inches, in good condition. There's a bit of a small curving on the wheel over here. Not sure what happened there. Also, weights in white. But there's a small problem. If you're gonna park your Porsche in the UK in the morning, you might end up with no headlights. Yeah. So I believe that's why the car ended up on Copart, and it looks like a dead frog. So if you have any candles home and you woke up in the morning, you might end up using the candles instead of your headlights. So let's put the car on the ramp. We're gonna lift it all up, have a look at everything. I don't think these have an air suspension. No, it's just on the normal springs. Engine sounds good, but we have to find out if the wiring loom is damaged or whatever, and check the car from underneath. Let the owner know what we're gonna do with it. Whee! Great, so 2.9 V6, hopefully not with the Chinese pistons. And the headlights, so quite a big hole. Connector look good. It's not even broken. Oh, actually it is broken. Look at these cheeky fuckers. Monkeys. Get a jobs. Get some jobs in McDonald's, you idiots. Taking people headlights. Poor car. So, to my knowledge, I think the headlight should be literally slide on to these two. Is it damaged? I don't know. So there's 1 and 2, and then you have these 2 points, and they are screwed. So we have screws from there. However, you can get to the screws from there and from here. So I don't know, Porsche. I don't know what you've been thinking. Yeah, you can't even have your bike in front of the train station to not get nicked, and you do headlights like this for £1 million, so you can take. And then people are sad Porsche owners. I even seen on Facebook like they're cutting the wings and everything to actually take the headlights out. So genuine headlights new, one is like £4,000. You need two, so like 8 grand gone. So yeah, if you're watching this video, don't use it to steal the headlights from other people's car, because you are a junkie if you do that. Get a job. So yeah, but I must say everything looks clean in. DCA, my favorite engine. So yeah, I think the car will be fine. Obviously it's low mileage, but we gotta put it on the ramp, which we did. We're gonna lift it up now, have a look from underneath, just in case there's no like under trays missing, damage or whatever. And we have to find out why the camera isn't working, the 360-degree one. But I believe it has something to do with the headlights, because that's the only fault code that show up. Okay, so Porsche from underneath, carbon fiber, and I don't know, so the car did like over 20k, and I think it looks like brand new. Wherever you have a look, everything is nice and shiny. No oil leaks, no nothing. Suspension arm bushing still good, not cracked. So it looks really good. I mean, for the money what he paid with the mileage, I'm not sure if it's a categorized car, like from the insurance. There's a bit of a something also on the other side, but that can be from Copart, maybe how they lift it. But the rest of the under trays, I must say, I mean, they're not damaged or anything. So I personally think it looks really good. Engine, like I told you, it's man, it's too good, you know, it's too good. Obviously, the headlights are a bit of a piss taker, because nobody's saying it can't happen again, of course, because welcome in a great UK. But you know what I'm trying to say. It's a tough life, guys. You really try to earn the money, and then some motherfucker gonna come in the evening or whatever, and all of a sudden you need candles for your Porsche. So yeah, but like I said, suspension, rear, whatever, wherever you're gonna have a look, it looks clean. It looks nice and shiny. So yeah, I think it was a good cow, especially the engine. We can put it down, put the camera into the oil cup afterwards and have a look. But I don't think the rocker arms at this mileage should be a problem. I don't know what's the year of the car, but I think it's actually, what plate is it? 20 plate, so the rocker arms should be even sorted. So yeah, headlights. We need to get the headlights, guys. I'm really hoping we will not get the same headlights which were stolen from the car. That will be hilarious. But I did find the used ones outside Europe for like 24, something like that, plus fitting. Obviously, there's not much fitting you can do. I don't think it needs coating, but we have to make it work. And the sensor, which is here, that's the problem why it's... Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, the flap's open. Oh my God. So yeah, this is the problem with the sensor, why it's showing nonsense. But yeah, I think in general it was a good car from Copart. You don't see too many clean cars which only have like only headlights stolen for 8 grand. Yeah, but I think it looks cool. Even bodywork and everything. Yeah. I think it will be all right. So yeah, we're gonna contact the owner. We will tell him what's going on, and we will see what will be the outcome. So stay tuned.
Hello?
Hello, sir. It's Thomas regarding your Porsche.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Good. So I have the car on the RAM. Check everything up. I can't really see anything wrong with it. The part somebody borrowed the headlights.
Okay.
So the question now is, what do you want to do with the headlights? Because I believe the 360-degree parking camera is not working because of the headlights.
Yeah.
And the only problem what I actually found is the front parking sensor popped out from the bumper. So that needs putting back on.
Yeah, I ordered the light. They're gonna be with you by Friday.
Oh, you already ordered them?
Yeah.
Good.
The LED one.
Okay, good. So they're coming probably on Friday. So when they're gonna be here, we're gonna fit them. Should be a straight fit, really. And do you want to do the oil change, spark plugs, and some basic service on it?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'll get it all sorted for you. I'll keep you updated, alright?
Okay.
Alright, man.
Thank
Thank you.
much.
Speak to you then. See you. Bye-bye. Okay, so you heard the man with the Porsche, which is off the ramp already. On the ramp, we have Mr. Philip. We will put the S5. So I talked with the owner of the black S5, the supercharged one. And I did tell him about the suspension arms, like what we generally found, catalytic converters and everything. So he wants to do everything. He did mention he have like knocking sound from the suspension. He was somewhere, but they were not able to repair it or find the problem even. So we're gonna do the full suspension arms, upper and lower, with track rod ends and drop links. So the engine is coming up. That will be taken out. We're gonna do a carbon cleaning on the valves with the walnuts. PCV, thermostat, water pump, the whole timing chain kit. We're also going to strip the camshaft carriers to reseal them. So that will be another job. And meanwhile, we have the white S4 B8 from Japan here. We'll have the gearbox malfunction. So we're going to put this on the middle ramp. We have to move all this out of the way. And the Jap import is coming on this ramp here. So we have Mr. Jap import on Z ramp. This is like a few days later. For that much was the car sold, believe it or not. So yeah, half red, half black interior, real carbon fiber everywhere. The only problem what I'm thinking is that it has Pirelli tires made back in 2017 and they are a little bit cracky from all the paint. So we will do a diagnostic. Meanwhile, the guys are doing brakes on the A1 over there. Meanwhile, Mr. Dave is doing a 3-liter TDI, and meanwhile we have another RS4 from Japan on the ramp. So if you're buying a car from Japan, there's no guarantee that Mr. CFSA engine code, like what you see here, will not fail because of poor valves or springs for the valves. And yeah, it's a clean car. We've got pan roof, got the bucket seats, low mileage, carbon fiber as well everywhere. However, the guys were doing diagnostic, the engine don't want to turn, or you don't want to do 360 degrees. And the reason why, there's a valve which is adjusting an angle himself, and it looks really sharp. So again, what happened? Well, the spring broke, the valve unlocked, fell into the cylinder, and there was loads of heavy metal concert going on until it come to a dead stop. and the engine gotta come out. So the plan was to rebuild it, but if you remember, which I'm not sure if you do remember, we have an engine here which we built for our RS5, nice and clean, all the cylinders are done, catalytic converters, timing chains, whatever you think of was replaced. And again, it happened again. This engine is not going into our RS5, it's going into the customer car over there. So we sold our engine again, never mind. But let's continue with the S4, what needs the gearbox sorting. You're gonna put it on the ramp, have a general look from underneath, and you're gonna try to repair it. The S4 is on the ramp, except the 2017 tires. I think it looks good, it looks clean, and I must say the car looks in really good condition overall. Of course, it is an old car, but for £9,000 with that mileage, it basically did like 70,000 kilometers. Everything is in genuine condition, and if you have a look from underneath, welcome in Japan. Yeah, all the bolts, they're not rusty. Look at that nut, easily you can unscrew it, turn it. Look at the spring, that looks like brand new. Subframe is not rotten to hell. The surface rust, let's call it. And of course, all the covers look clean, so generally good condition. The prop shaft still have a sticker on there. Even the clamps on the exhaust, I mean they're old, but they don't look anything like a UK clamps. So in today's work, we should be working on the gearbox, which means this cover gotta come off. But we have to plug it on the diagnostic because the guy just told me some fault codes. But we wanna double check it. And look, a problem. Suspension arm is gone dead. Okay, so yeah, let's put on the diagnostic and we'll see what it's gonna show us on the gearbox. Very nice. So this is how a DSG gearbox looks like with no mechatronic. This is actually your clutch and the mine shaft, it's everything. And everything where you see these O-rings, we will be putting new O-rings on them. So the mechatronic actually just popped out, but to do that, you gotta drop the sump, as you can see. You gotta drop the strainer, which is right there, still genuine, original from 2009-10. And the main thing was there was a 10mm bolt on the top, and these two pipes were literally holding the oil filter housing on the side. There were 3 Torxes over here, so the whole oil filter housing have to come out. And then the connector for the mechatronic was disconnected, and there was an insert with a gasket, so we'll be replacing all that as well. And the mechatronic pop out. There's also, I think, a speed sensor somewhere on the top, which we don't see at the moment. To replace that, I think the whole gearbox gotta be removed, and it's behind, well, actually from the top behind clutches, if I'm correct. We don't do too many gearboxes, so this is more like a one-off thing. This is the mechatronic with all the valves, as you can see. And from this side, you have the oil supply coming from the filter back into the system. So all these valves and all these locks have to line up so you can put it back together. This is the mechatronic himself, so this is the brain. And we'll be replacing the wiring loom actually, which is 1 and which is 2, I believe, with the temperature sensor. We have it all here. So this is the original part number for it, somewhere here. Yeah, 0B5473. Sorry, 413B. And we also have strainers here, so we will be taking the main valves 1 and 2. We'll be checking the strainers if they're not damaged or anything. If they're gonna be pop, we have to put 2 new valves in there. So that's the plan. We're gonna oh my god, we're gonna strip it all down and hopefully it will all work. So the mechatronic with new lube. We also check the strainers or the screeners, and there's nothing wrong with them. They look good. But it's good to check them and replace them, because if they're gonna go kaboom, it will get into the solenoid, cause a problem. We replace these tubes, O-rings, and I think the DSG is actually ready to be reassembled with the mechatronic. So we will put it back on. O-rings, these are the 3 tubes which were there, and then we will be putting all the new gaskets around it.
You want to put the part?
No fault codes. Good. So we are back from the test drive. We managed to do like 15 miles with the tires from the museum, and there's no fault code. So we drove the car and we tried to go through all the gears. So we went from first, second to 7, steady. Then we drive it in comfort, we drive it in manual mode, we drive it in sport mode. Everything seems to be fine. Also, we plug it on the diagnostic after the test drive, as you can see. No fault codes. So I think it should be sorted, it should be good to go. I told the guy who actually selling it to do a bit of more miles with it and test it and see if it's all good. So we have another, I think it's a B8 S4 outside, which has a problem with the losing coolant. So this is coming out, the other one is coming back on, and we're gonna check it out. Okay, so the car's on the ramp. We have Uniroyals tires from 2020. Oh yeah, boy. Straight away, you can tell we have a UK car on the ramp. The surface rust has become more than a surface rust. And yeah, it's a typical UK car. Can't really complain about stuff. Somebody replaced the clamps, which are not genuine. I want to say hello to everyone who's not hitting genuine stuff. That is the result, blowing exhaust. And something was going on with the gearbox apparently, because that is not what should be there. And the prop shaft is holding very professionally, and it's absolutely amazing. So when it comes to suspension arms, yeah boy, blew up. Okay, that is dead. The other one is dead as well. And yeah, So somebody was working on the car previously and there was a coolant leak, and apparently there's even a bigger coolant leak, and we have to find out why. So we're gonna inspect it, we're gonna check some base stuff, and we will see what we will actually find. So, I spoke with the owner of the vehicle. He told me like 1,000 miles ago, in a couple of months, the PCV thermostat water pump was sorted. It is questionable with the PCV because there's quite loads of dirt on it, and I'm not sure, well, maybe some dirt getting in there, but I would like to check at what PCV it is and how it's done and stuff. Meanwhile, we took off the sensor from the supercharger off. This is how the inside looks like. It's not particularly red like it's burning coolant. It is oily, but I can't see into all the valves through there, also from the other side. So we agreed to actually remove the supercharger, do investigation, and see what we will find. So I'm really hoping it's not a head gasket or something more serious. The chain's rattling, obviously, what can you do? But we're gonna investigate further. So meanwhile, I was checking all the components, like the coolant pump underneath the headlights, and the coolant pump underneath here and everywhere. And actually, yeah, I don't see anything external leaking. Everything was dry. Check the radiator, check all the connectors. Everything is in place. But whoever did the job, guys, what the hell? So yeah, I can't wait. We'll strip it down. Maybe there's gonna be more surprises underneath bad boy. Okay, so we removed the supercharger of the engine, and right now, what I couldn't see is to the inside. There we go. So that looks clean to me, and the valves are very dry. Same on the other side. If you have a look, that's red, cleaned up. So we're gonna let the owner know. He probably needs like cords to the supercharger. They're actually obsolete, but we'll see. The PCV is like genuine, probably, but it's not genuine, it's aftermarket. But I don't see anything leaking, and it is dirty, but probably it was replaced. It's really hard to say, but you can probably tell how dirty all the components are. So I'll show you the radiators, and I'm gonna show you one more engine. So this is how the supercharger course looks like, and I believe they are probably leaking. You can see some dirt, some stuff. Like I said, the problem is the obsolete. You can't get it from Male, so we find a replacement. But yeah, I think they will need replacing, so not good. And meanwhile, the engine, which was on the check, is almost finished. Everything is nicely cleaned up. Valve, carbon cleaning, intake, PCV, all the stuff. Also the top of the carriers, nice and clean with new silicone, looking fresh. The Japan RS4, not good at all. So currently the engine was removed, and because the car was sold not very long time ago, there are more people involved. And more people are getting sad and disappointed, because when you have engine failure, you have engine failure. Also, we find out that the catalytic converters are completely dead. So I'm not sure, yeah, you can see it inside now. They are completely broken and gone. So he needs 2 catalytic converters. The problem with that is you can't do it with the engine in. The head is in one piece. And the engine did a bit of a suicide as usual. The valve dropped in and it made a bit of a mess. The problem is this block is probably a scrapper because there's a chip away. Also something happened because the valves make a stump on all the pistons. And the cylinder head, I don't think this is repairable. So this to me is a failure at 7,000 RPM. Of course, we have the engine over here, what we built for our RS5, again, 7-8 time I believe, and it's going to a customer car again. So this is like fully built engine with everything, and we'll be swapping it around. So you can see everything is nice and clean, new valves, new springs, new everything. So RS4 from Japan will have a new engine fitted. Of course, it's quite expensive because catalytic converters, injectors, engine, everything, easily £15,000 labor and everything to swap it. And of course, the guys try to start the engine 7 million times and they start to make a click noise and it's burn out. So we need a new starter as well. So that's all from the video, guys. Bit of update from the garage again. Nothing serious, really. I would like to continue with the B5 over the Christmas time. The RS6 is broken. Can't start it. I have to repair it. And then we put it in a winter position after all the driving. And we'll see you in the next video. We'll see what we'll be thinking about now. So thank you for watching. Take care for now. See ya.